Happy Friday. This is John McEntyre Live. And this is the Friday before uh, Father's Day. This is Father's Day weekend. Let me say it that way. Well, we really just get a day, Father's Day, and it's Mother's Day weekend. They get the full weekend, year, whatever. We get Father's Day. So Sunday is Father's Day. And I just had to do that just to get the people behind the scenes riled up. We'll have a good show now. So to kick off this Father Day weekend, um, we're going to do wallet wins. I'm going to share my today is book club Friday. Today is book club Friday, and then we'll end it off with the question of the day. And so let's get into this right now. Oh yeah, today is Friday, June 14th, 2024. Almost the exact middle of the month. And so, wallet win number one. We received a settlement from a lawsuit and paid off all debts. That's a good one. That's a real good one. It takes a lot of discipline and commitment. Let me commend this family on being committed to their financial goals. I know a lot of people, they win a lawsuit, paying debts off is the last thing. Uh, so I applaud you for being committed, disciplined to your goals and everything. Wallet win number two. Daughter won a scholarship to attend a STEM camp for the summer. That's excellent. I like that one. I definitely like that one. STEM is a big field, especially for very open for females, open for everyone, but especially for females. STEM is very good. I know a lot of my daughter's friends, even Bella, my daughter, she's interested in STEM. She has another career in mind, but she would be good in STEM, and a lot of her friends are very interested in it. They're doing STEM camps, so to actually win a scholarship to attend, yeah, that's strong. That's very good. Wallet win number three, just opened my investment account. And so didn't specify what type of an investment account, but I'll take it. It's a step forward. Um, that's one of the most important accounts when you're going to build your financial future and actually build wealth for the future, your retirement, things like that. The investment account is where the action happens, where the money grows and everything. So I hope well, just let me give a big shout out and wish them luck with their investment endeavors, that they achieve the finance. Yeah, it's almost, yeah. I'm thinking about Father's Day myself. I'm thinking about the food I'm going to eat and the dessert. I can't get myself together, but we're going to get this. We're going to get this show done, and I would choose live to do all of this, right? But I want to applaud the wallet winners. Received a settlement from a lawsuit, paid off all debts. Daughter won a scholarship to attend a STEM camp. Just opened my investment account. So yeah, good job. All right, let's get into this. Today is Book Club Friday, where I share a book from a personal finance book, something that has to do with personal finance with my from my library. And today's book is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book this book has caused a lot of changes in the world of personal finance. It's probably one of the most influential books in personal finance. Easy, easy. It's easy in the top five. I mean, most definitely. Um, a lot of lessons come out of this book. It's a new way of thinking about personal finance. And for me, I was introduced to the book because people kept asking me about it. Um, well, let me put it this way: I was in real estate. People would ask me to come and speak at their book clubs and groups and stuff, and everyone had this book. They had this book, and it's actually a game called Cash Flow. It's actually a board game. So all of these cash flow games and meetings were going on. This was in Charlotte, And I remember I was invited to the very first time I was invited to speak to a group. Everyone in the room, it was maybe 30 people there. They were playing the game, they was reading the book. And I was like, okay, and they was asking these questions. Just so happened I was able to answer them. Um, and so one asked, a couple of the people asked me, and they were like, so you've read the book? I was like, I've never even heard of the book. But they said, well, the way you were answering the questions, we figured that you had read the book before. I said, no. And they had one. I went through it and I was like, okay. So, it was gifted to me. They actually paid me to come and speak, but then they gave me the book. And so I read it. I got caught up in it. And it didn't take me 2 days to read the book. I mean, it was just so much that was coming out of it that I couldn't. It was one of those books I just, like they say, I couldn't put it down. And it like I say, it teaches so many lessons, and it also spoke to a lot of my values and my philosophy. It spoke to a lot of that, especially the way that it talked about values and stuff. It's actually a story. Um, and it's supposed to be a true story. Robert Kiyosaki, the actual author, he tells a story when he was a kid where he was taught money from two different ways. His real dad, his biological father, which was he called poor dad. His best friend's dad, he called him rich dad. And they had different philosophies about money and investing. And he told the story of, how he learned that he learned about building wealth from his rich dad, from his best friend's dad, and his poor dad, how he thought about money and some of the things he learned what not to do when it came to money. So it was a very powerful book. Well, I tried to pull for, especially for the show, I tried to just pull three lessons out of it, three important main points. And this book has way more than three. So I just shared the three, most important that I pulled out in the beginning. And so his first one was, the single most powerful asset we all have is our minds. How the rich think about money and investing is the main reason they are different from the poor and middle class. It's not that they are better people or anything. They just think differently about money. And they say, when you ask them about assets, they say, well, the most powerful one is the mind, because, it all starts up here anyway. It all starts in the thoughts. And the next point was that the poor and middle class work for money, whereas the rich have money work for them. The rich, and inside that lesson, I mean, each one of these points, is just so much depth in each one of them. And it was saying, when a rich person, when they need more money, they think of creating a business or an investment or something like that. Whereas, the poor middle class will go look for a job, a better paying job or a part-time job, something like that. And he was like, there's nothing wrong with either one of them. Saying this, he stresses that in the book, and I have to stress it here. It's not that you're a better person or anything. We know bad rich people. We know bad poor middle class people. So that's not the point. It's just talking about financially, how they think financially. And the third point, rich people acquire assets, and assets are income generating, investments, whatever it could be. Writing a book is an asset. You write the book once, people buy it and buy it over and over, like this book. This has been a serious asset for this guy. I'm willing to bet it's probably one of his largest assets, if you ask me. I know he says he's invested in real estate and businesses and stuff. I still think, because this book has sold millions of copies, and so I'm willing to bet. Well, other assets, real estate, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, those types of things, art, jewelry, certain types of jewelry, and can be assets. The poor and middle class, they acquire liabilities that they think are assets. And liabilities are assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money out of your pocket. Um, and so the poor middle class, what he's saying is that they spend money on liabilities, thinking that they're assets. For instance, one's big one, and it really, that's where the paradigm really started to shift, because he was like, people think that their home is an asset, a financial asset. And doing the numbers, me being, being in real estate, being around real estate a lot, I could agree with that, because most people will say, my especially when they're listing assets on the net worth statement, for instance, they'll put their home, and you don't know if it really is an asset, because if you've lived in it, let's just say 10 years or whatever, you lived in it 10 years, okay, did you keep up with everything you spent on the house? The maintenance, everything, lawn care, all of this type of stuff, everything that you spent. If you tracked everything, and then you sell the property, you sell your home, and you actually made more money than you actually spent, the actual cost of the home and all of the maintenance that you put into the home and everything, all of the furniture, all of this good stuff, if you put it in there and it did equal it was more, then yes, it was a financial asset. But I've yet to meet someone who did all of that, you know. And so that's why his teaching was like, your house is not a asset. So my wife and I, we agreed that our personal residence does not go on our net worth statement. It doesn't go on a net worth statement, because that gives a lot of people an inflated sense of their net worth, not self-worth, but net worth. It gives them a sense. And you hear the conversation a lot. I know, people, yeah, I paid $300,000 for my house, and now, I can sell it today for 700,000. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It depends on the market. We don't know that. Also, I've been through some ups and downs of markets. There's some markets where people bought in like good neighborhoods, bought a good house and everything, but still took a bath. They lost money because of the market. The market dipped on them and everything. So that takes a lot into an account. So you see just how deep this book goes. And I mean, it's not a thick book at all. It's not a thick book, but it's like every page is loaded. And this is probably one of my most valuable assets, because I'll talk about it later. I'll teach on it later. I classify 4 different assets. They're assets. It might not be a financial asset, but it could be another type of asset. This has been a, 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 a an asset for different asset classes in my philosophy. So I just want to share that. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. A lot of good lessons. I mean, every time I mention the book or someone mentioned the book to me, and I'm talking with someone, it's like an hour later and we're still talking about, what we learned, and probably only 5 pages in and everything. So pick up this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, put it in your library. It's one of those, read it once a year. It makes you think every time you read it. Keeps that paradigm shifting and everything. All right. Well, let's get ready to close this show out with the question of the day. And our question of the day, which stems from the actual book. When you receive money, what is the first thing you think about doing with it? If you receive, say, a windfall of cash, what do you think about? Do you think about buying an investment, something that would increase in value, or do you think about buying that luxury car or the clothes or the vacation or, whatever? And nothing wrong with that. I'm just asking, what's the first thing you think about? That kind of lets you know where your paradigm is working. And paradigm means mindset. That's all, way of thinking. So keep that question in mind. Share with us your answer. Share with us your wallet wins. I want to hear those wallet wins. Give us your questions. Give us your comments. If you need help with getting your finances in order, our information is on the screen. You can give us a call. We will definitely get you in the right direction. So, to all the fathers out there, I want to say happy Father's Day. To the moms out there, I want to say help take care of the fathers. It's their weekend. Instead of the honey-do list, one of the best gifts you can give them is a honey-don't list. which is an empty piece of paper, nothing to do. And there you go. Well, on behalf of everyone here on John McEntyre Live, we'll see you Monday, same time, same channel, YouTube Live, Facebook Live.